Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the virtual public informational meeting for CTDOT Project 131-208, replacement of bridge number 04560 on Newell Street in the town of Southington. The contact information for the project info, phone, and project web page is shown on this slide, and recording this presentation will be posted after the live event. Next slide, please. My name is Mark Burns, and I'm the project manager for the local bridge program, and this is my contact information. The goals for tonight's meeting will be to interact with the project team, explain the federal local bridge program, design managed by state or DMS program, welcoming remarks by the town of Southington, introductions of the project team, and a formal presentation of the design progress, as well as explain the condition of the existing bridge to define the purpose and need, and to recommend a viable proposal. Please keep in mind design plans are only at 30%. Following the presentation, we'll have an open forum for your questions. If you would like to interact with us, you can send a question or comment by email at dot.flvp@ct.gov, by phone at 860-594-2020, which is a monitored voicemail line, or in the live Q&A chat. We also encourage you to visit the project webpage shown below at portal.ct.gov/DOT Southington 131-208. Please note that the comment period is open through February 16th, 2023, and that the Zoom chat function is only available during the live Q&A. I am now required to read this slide on civil rights. No person shall, on the basis of race, color, or national origin, be excluded from participation or subject to discrimination in the development of this project. We highly encourage you to fill out a voluntary post-meeting survey located at the link below or with the shown QR code. You can also reach civil rights information at the website listed. A recording of this presentation will be posted to YouTube after the event, and closed captioning, including non-English translation options, will be available on Zoom and YouTube. So the project is funded through the federal local bridge program through our design managed by state or DMS program. In the past, local bridges that are maintained by the towns have been funded with 80% federal and 20% town dollars for design, rights-of-way, and construction. With the DMS process, design, rights-of-way, and construction phases are funded with 80% federal and 20% state funds. Design, construction, and rights-of-way will be at zero cost to the town. The design, however, is still a full partnership and coordinated with the town of Southington. The goals of the DMS are to provide a streamlined approach to design using the DOT resources available to us, to aid the towns to keep their bridges in a state of good repair, to decrease typical design time, and to utilize accelerated bridge construction or ABC techniques to shorten construction duration. The goal is to also increase the number of municipal projects delivered to construction each year. I will now turn it over to Annette Turnquist, the Public Works Director and Town Engineer of the town of Southington.
Thanks, Mark. Good evening. My name is Annette Turnquist. I'm the Director of Public Works. I'm the Town Engineer for the town of Southington. We're looking forward to advancing the design and replacement of the Newell Street Bridge over the Quinnipiac River. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Connecticut DOT for allowing us to participate in their administered design program. As Mark mentioned, under this program, the Connecticut DOT administers the project design and uses state funds to finance the 20% matching share of the design costs. Under the other programs, the town is typically responsible for this 20%. So we certainly do appreciate this opportunity. That being said, thank you. And I will turn it over to Andy Shepard from CJM for all the details. Thank you.
Thank you, Annette. I will now introduce the project team. As I said, my name is Mark Burns. I'm the project manager. Also is in attendance is Andrew Shields, project engineer from the department. And then our division chief, Bart Sweeney, and our principal engineer, Derek Lassard. From the Office of Rights-of-Way, Zachary Garano, And then from Close Jensen and Miller, who are project consultant liaisons, are Mike Brady, project manager, and Andy Shepard, project engineer. This slide gives a quick depiction of key structural elements of a bridge. As shown, you have your driving or walking surface, which is the deck. And then there's a parapet to protect vehicles and pedestrians from falling over on the side. Beneath the deck is the superstructure. In this case, is showing steel beams. Supporting the superstructure are abutments, or in some cases, piers, as shown. And then to retain soil are the wing walls shown as well. Beneath the abutments is the bridge substructure, which supports all of the elements. Bridges are inspected on a 2-year cycle, and all elements of the bridges are given a condition rating on a scale of 1 to 9, with 9 being in excellent condition and 1 being in imminent failure. Here is a cross-section view of the bridge elements as well. As you can see, there's the standard superstructure, and then as the substructure goes deeper, there are usually concrete or steel piles supporting it to rock. I'll now turn it over to Andy so we can begin the formal presentation. Andy?
Thank you, Mark. Hi, everyone. My name is Andy Shepard, and I'm project engineer for Close Jensen and Miller. So this project is located 0.2 miles north of West Queen Street and 0.1 miles south of Redstone Street. This is just an aerial view of the project area. I'm sure many people know the bridge is in an area that's mostly commercial, with a large business on each side of the structure. And there's also a residential property on the southwest corner of the bridge. This existing structure was built in 1964 and consists of a single span pre-stressed reinforced concrete deck unit superstructure supported on reinforced concrete abutments and wing walls. The total structure length is 39 feet with a curb to curb width of 30 feet 4 inches. The estimated average daily traffic, or ADT, is 2,075 vehicles per day. And there's a 5-foot sidewalk on the east side of the structure and a 1-foot 7-inch safety walk on the west side. Some utilities. There's a 12-inch water main on the west fascia, and overhead utilities also span the structure on the west side. Initial utility letters were sent, and because of these, Eversource requested that the proposed design accommodate for their placement of an 8-inch conduit for future use. So now onto some conditions for the bridge and deterioration. The bridge deck is in poor condition with a rating of 4 and has areas of cracking throughout the surface. There's damage to the guide rail at all 4 corners of the bridge, and the sidewalk and safety walk both have areas of cracking and spalling. The bridge approaches also have pretty good areas of cracking all throughout. The superstructure is also in poor condition with a rating of 4. The underside of the deck units have numerous spalls with exposed reinforcement and severe deterioration of that exposed steel. There's also active leakage along the bridge joints, which just causes more deterioration. The substructure is in fair condition with a rating of 5. The abutments have cracks in hollow areas, as well as small to large spalls with the exposed reinforcement. And the wing walls also show areas of scaling and cracking. So scour for the bridge is noted as 5, which is scour susceptible. And scour is basically what happens when the force of the water kind of eats away at the stream bed. There's also light to moderate embankment erosion and undercutting, both upstream and downstream, as well as some good exposed tree roots and heavy vegetation. So this is our proposed bridge. For some perspective, this is an elevation view of the project, which shows the bridge as if you're in the water looking at the structure. Because of the deterioration that I've talked about, the proposed structure or the project is to replace the existing structure with astro concrete slab, shown here in orange, and reinforced concrete deck on integral abutments, which are shown in gray, all supported on the piles, which are here shown in brown. New wing walls will be constructed, which are here in pink, and a new open bridge rail will be provided as well, which you can see in yellow. The structure will have a total structure length of 54.58 feet with a clear span of 44 feet, which helps to reduce scour and improve the waterway crossing slightly. The curb to curb width will be 30 feet, consisting of 15-foot travel lanes and a sidewalk. On the eastern side of the roadway will also be provided. The existing water main will be replaced in kind on the western side. You can see here in blue. And like I said, the new gas main will be accommodated for on the eastern fascia. Here's a section view. So it shows the bridge as if we're slicing through the structure while standing on the roadway. Like I said before, the structure will have 15-foot travel lanes, which are shown here in black, and the sidewalk on the eastern side, which you can see in green. The deck in gray will be a 6-inch minimum cast in place shear slab with membrane waterproofing and 3 inches of bituminous wearing surface. And like the previous slide, the astro slabs are shown in orange. The railing here is in yellow, and the water main and gas main that I said are in blue and red, respectively. And finally, this is a plan view. It shows the entirety of the area affected by all these construction activities. And like I said, the structure will have a total length of 54.58 feet with a clear span of 44 feet. It's again shown in orange here with the wing walls in pink. The existing pavement is shown here in gray, and what's in yellow is what is proposed to be reconstructed. We have some new drainage structures that'll be provided because of their proximity to the construction activities, and you can see those all in green. And again, the water main and gas main are shown in blue and red, respectively. The roadway profile and alignment here will be maintained, so there won't be any huge change to that. These are just some examples of box beam structures, just to give you an idea of what it could look like. We are proposing a detour here, full road closure for the duration of construction, which is about 8 months. The detour here is only about 0.9 miles or 2 minutes and includes Newell Street, West Queen Street, and Redstone Street. Stage construction was determined not feasible, unfortunately, due to high costs, the water handling, and substantial additional construction time that would be required to maintain the roadway during each construction phase. And we also need to be able to complete this project in a single construction season. We do have some rights of way. Drainage right of way is required on the west side because of the new drainage structures, and an easement is required on the east side due to any construction activities. Permits for anticipating local inland wetland, flood management certification, and Army Corps of Engineers. Construction is anticipated to start in spring of 2025 with about 6 to 8 months of construction time or one construction season. Estimated cost of the project is $2,725,000. And as Mark mentioned before, there is no cost to the town, so it's 100% funded. So that's it for me. I'll turn it over to DOT Rights of Way to go over some rights of way process for you.
Thanks, Andy. My name is Zachary Garino. I'm the project coordinator with the department's Division of Rights of Way. Our office is responsible for acquiring the property rights needed for transportation projects. Proposed project design requires the acquisition of property rights, like Andy mentioned. So I'd like to give you a brief overview of the department's right-of-way acquisition process. Please keep in mind that the specific impacts are still being finalized and may change as the design progresses. Any required property rights will be acquired in accordance with Connecticut General Statutes, sections 13A 73 and 13A 98E. And since there's federal money used in this project, we'll be also adhering to the Uniform Act. Can change the slide. Once the design has progressed to a point where we are ready to begin the acquisition process, each affected property owner will receive a formal letter of intent to acquire from our office, along with a property map, which depicts the exact property rights to be acquired. And on the screen there is an example of a property map that you'd receive. At that point, our office will determine the fair market value of those property rights and use that value to establish an offer of just compensation. That offer will be sent out to the property owner in writing, and a right-of-way agent will be available to meet with the property owner and explain the project, go over the specific impacts to their property, and explain the state's offer. The property owner will have a reasonable amount of time, typically 30 days, to consider the state's offer and enter into negotiations. When an agreement is reached, the department will prepare all the necessary paperwork to record the deed and property map on the town land records. However, if an agreement cannot be reached, in order to keep on schedule, the department may acquire the necessary property rights to its power of eminent domain. In that event, the state files a notice of condemnation with the Superior Court, along with a monetary deposit in the amount of the state's offer. The owner would have 6 months from that date to file an appeal if they felt that the state's offer was inadequate. Whether or not the owner chooses to appeal, the money deposited in the court is available to be withdrawn by the owner. It's important to note that the state only acquires property rights that are needed for the project. And if there's any questions specific to the rights-of-way process, I'd be happy to answer them after the presentation, and I'll turn it back over. Thank you.
Thank you, Zach, and thank you, Andy. Everyone, that concludes our formal presentation. Thank you for listening. We will now open up to questions and answers. Once again, you can either ask your questions in the live Q&A Zoom chat, through the project webpage, or by phone or email. So the first question that came in, which we'll answer here, is I would like to request considerations be made to please keep the bridge open for passage to the greatest extent possible during the replacement timeline. There are businesses in this area who heavily rely on passage over this bridge several times per day for routine business and shipments receiving that would be impacted by an alternate detour route. Thank you for your considerations. This is from Paul Chiplinski, Southington Town Councilman. Andy, can you please answer that question?
Yeah, of course. So we did look at stage construction initially. We really tried to keep it to that because I know the town did want that initially. We did a cost comparison and everything, and it turns out that it's almost $500,000 more expensive to do stage construction versus a detour. It also heavily affects the water handling. So there's multiple stages that would have to be done for that. And we also would have to overbuild the bridge to accommodate for the one-way alternating traffic. One of the main things too was the project duration. Right now we're looking at 6 to 8 months. If we were to do stage construction, it would almost triple or double to 16 to 18 months. So we discussed that with the town and DOT, and it seemed that detour was the best option, especially since it is just under a mile and it's more or less a 2-minute drive. I don't know, Mark, if you would want to hop in.
I think you answered that well. We did, and that was something we did investigate with everyone, and the increased cost was just not feasible, and the increased construction duration. One other thing to note is with increased water handling can also affect our environmental permits with the Army Corps and DEEP, and that could further delay our timeline to get this bridge into construction.
Hi, everybody. This is Mike Brady from Close Jensen Miller. I would just like to further add that we have considered keeping the bridge open to the greatest extent and will utilize accelerated bridge construction techniques, such as building behind with the replacement option and utilizing precast elements open the bridge back to traffic as soon as possible. We're looking at a 6 to 8 month construction duration. However, the detour should be less than that. We're looking to get the detour completed within approximately 4 to 5 months.
Thank you, Mike. We can also investigate Another question in from Paul Chaplinsky. Should a temporary light at West Queen be installed to handle the large trucks from Yard Metals entering and exiting Redstone to West Queen, given the traffic and speeds here? Andy or Mike, would you like to take that one?
Yes, we will be investigating that as part of taking account for the average daily traffic that travels along this roadway and the businesses themselves. Understanding that there are busy roadways within the vicinity, and getting out onto them could be a little troublesome. We will be investigating that and seeing if a temporary traffic light is feasible for this project and detour.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for your questions, Paul. Again, there are 3 ways to communicate with us, or if you have questions afterward, please feel free to send them by email. The question answer portion is open until February 16th, sorry. And obviously you can email the town, or you can email the DOT at any point in time, and we can do what we can. We also encourage you to please fill out the survey as well. All right, I think at this point now we can wrap up. Once again, we appreciate you all for attending and for asking questions. Once again, please feel free to reach out by email or phone or through the project webpage. We thank you again for attending. Have a pleasant evening.